Hello and welcome back to Fire Emblem Engage. We are not actually doing this skirmish map. I just wanted to show it off before I get into the actual map that we're playing today, because I've been talking about it for a little while and saying it's ridiculous, but I actually did take a spin at trying it, and it's really ridiculous, and I just wanted to, yeah, like I said, show it off, because I don't know how the skirmishes are generated. I assume they're random, like from a pool, but this map, it's the boat map, but we're on the outside instead of on the inside, which makes things much harder because our units are all scattered to the winds. You have no more than 2 units in any of these starting spaces, which honestly, like, it'd be one thing if you had, you know, like a clump of 6 here and a clump of 6 here or something like that. But this deployment is just, like, silly. I just don't... I don't know why. I mean, I guess, obviously, you know, you could just spend your turn, like, moving the clumps together, but even then, like, you get this part where you have to go all the way around, even if you're a flyer. Or like, worse yet, this part where you have to go all the way around and then, you know, continue down. It just, like, takes ages. And meanwhile, like, the enemies in the middle can choose to go to either side, so they could, like, rush down, you know, either one of or like any of these sort of more isolated units. And then there's just, like, really powerful flyers. But the weird thing is that compared to other enemies, like, that I've been fighting in other chapters, I mean, they're lower level, which makes sense insofar as I've had this Paralogue unlocked for a while. But it doesn't make sense in terms of the, like, their stats are very similar to, like, you know, the level 10 enemies that we've been facing, so, or will be facing, have been facing, I don't know. I mean, I know the recommended level for some of the other chapters was 10, and the one that I'm going to do today is also 10 promoted, but, yeah, so, like, the weird thing is that they also give less XP, and there's no, like, money or materials or anything from this, so, like, I'm not even sure what the point is. It's, like, like, the enemies are... I don't know if they're using, like, a different leveling algorithm than enemies in other chapters, but it seems like it. And then, so they don't give much XP, and they don't give you anything else. It's like, why? Especially when the chapter is, like, this, honestly, like, in my opinion, poorly designed. I just don't understand, like, the thought process behind this. Like, I didn't mind playing the other skirmishes, but this one I think I just won't ever play because it's just too... Like, I don't know. I would have to spend, like, you know, either spend a lot of turns on it just, like, playing, like, kiting the enemies or something, or, you know, get a bunch of stat boosters, which I've been trying to avoid using any stat boosters on these kinds of maps, that sort of thing. Yeah, I just think it's weird, like, and the other skirmishes that I did were not like this, so I don't know. I don't know why they don't put you back in the middle boat. I feel like that would be the easiest thing, is just, like, leave the deployment positions just, like, the same, like, not the enemies necessarily, but leave the player deployment positions, like, the same as they were in the actual chapter. It'd be, like, totally fine. Like, you could have this exact same enemies, and it would be way, way, way better. So, yeah, a weird thing. I just wanted to show that off because I've been talking about it a bunch, and it's like, now you know what I mean. And I guess, to be clear, and as for a point of comparison with the chapter I'm actually going to play, the wyverns in this, they're 2 levels lower, I think. They're, like, very slightly weaker. They have, well, maybe more than, like, a little bit more than very slightly, because they have, I want to say, 3 less HP, 2 less defense, maybe the same-ish speed. Yeah, that part I'm not actually sure about, but yeah. In any case, we'll get to that now. But I'm just gonna load up my battle prep, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and this is the chapter we're actually doing, which is the Celica Paralogue. And we can't actually see those wyverns yet because they spawn in on turn 1, which is a weird also like a weird choice. I mean, I know it's trying to emulate the way things worked in Echoes / Gaiden, but it's like, why not at least let people see the enemies that are going to be around these high priests, like on turn, like before turn 1. Like, it makes no functional difference except that it's just hidden information that is annoying. But whatever. We don't actually get to bring our whole complement of units here, which is actually kind of annoying. Not really because we like need them, but because we do need a bunch of repositions, and this prevents us from being able to use some of our other units for better stuff than just repositioning. Oh well. Other stuff of note. Etier's a sniper now. This is intended to be temporary, so Celica is pretty far away, and I want her to start moving towards us, and we can do that with a 20 range Astra Storm much more effectively than we can with a 10 range Astra Storm. I tried to find a way to not have to do it this way, but this just seemed so much more straightforward that that's what I'm going to do, and I expect to be changing her back. It's a pretty big hit to her strength to not be in Warrior. So, and I think she's actually slower too. So I don't, and less bulky for what that's worth. Yeah, there's mostly it's just worse except for like Dex. So I'm not really keen on leaving her in this class, but for this chapter it'll be useful. Other stuff, I forged Linden's Killer Axe. No, I didn't forge Linden's Killer Axe. I thought about it and then I didn't do it, so never mind. Right. No, what I did do though is get him a strength tonic, and then Kagetsu has a strength tonic and a defense tonic and an HP tonic, and I think that might actually be it. Yeah, I think it is. Also, Ivy has the Ike Ring because, well, somebody might as well have it. Doesn't really matter. I think the other thing that happened is that I finally got... I think it actually had it for a little while in Hortensia, and decided to go ahead and put Cantor on her, but I'd also I finally got enough to put her on Ivy. And I think... Yeah, Seedall now has Special Dance, which is actually, surprisingly enough, not relevant here, but I'm sure it will be. Alright. I mean, I guess it's a little bit relevant. I shouldn't say it's not relevant, but it's mostly not relevant. Let's go. So, yeah, in case it wasn't clear what I was alluding to, yeah, like these are supposed to be the Cantors from Echoes, and so we get these summons immediately on turn 1. Yeah, so I guess this is an Axe user, so it's also got 2 more speed. Oh, but it's level 13. Okay, not 10, it's 13. Yeah, so it's 5 levels higher. Maybe that does math out, I don't know. Maybe it's just that having so many of the strong flyers in one map is the thing that really set that one off from the other ones. But I could swear that I looked at those stats for those wyverns, and they were actually higher than most of the previous chapters we've been looking at. Like, it was just last chapter that Linden was, in the Roy Paralogue, Linden was killing wyverns with like 54 HP and like 22 defense or something like that. But they weren't like level 5, I don't think, or something, you know, or level, I don't know what level I'd have to be. But yeah, it seems kind of inconsistent to me, but maybe there's something I've overlooked. In any case, alright, so first thing we're going to do is some repositioning. As mentioned, we are going to fling Linden up here, and then he's going to come up and he's going to engage, which gives him some necessary attack power to be able to one crit kill these halberdiers. And then over here, Kagetsu is going to reposition Etier across this thing. And then we're going to dance for Kagetsu. And we're going to come over here with Alir and engage and instruct. And then Marin is going to reposition Hortensia. And then Hortensia is going to do a big rescue on these 4. It's really hard to set up this turn 1 rescue and get value out of it. This is the best I could do. As opposed to getting, like, you know, a 5th unit in it, but... And then just canter forward a little bit. And then, so we're going to put Kagetsu in range of all 4 of these wyverns, and so with the tonics that he has, he can survive 3 hits. 2 of them have certain blow, so he's very likely to get hit by those, but the other 2 do not, so he's pretty likely to dodge those hits. So he's pretty unlikely to get hit even 3 times, let alone 4. Alright, and then finally, and it's very much optimal to do this as the last action of the turn, because we have to listen to the friggin' boss music after we do it. I do not like how you get the same boss music, like, every time. It gets really repetitive, in my opinion. And I would rather listen to... I mean, it's not as good as the version in Smash, the, like, Spanish-sounding one, but I still quite like the... with Milla's Divine Protection, so I'd rather listen to that. Anyway, so Linden goes to town on these halberdiers. Guaranteed safety this time because he has holdout +++. Not that they triggered it, but if they had. Alright, so Kagetsu's already guaranteed to be safe. We still want to see him A, pick up all the kills, and B, avoid taking damage if he can. Oh, dodged one of the 75s. Alright, I'll take that. Nice. Well, he doesn't need to avoid all that damage, but I won't complain about it. Alright, and Celica starts moving. We're actually just out of Warp Ragnarok range, which is also nice. Okay, so now they summon more dudes, and immediately they have Void Curse, which honestly I find a little weird, like, just because the odds that you're going to be able to take out, like, both of these guys on, like, turn 1 is, like, strange. Maybe they're just trying to communicate to you, hey, like, you're not going to get value out of these reinforcements, so, you know, just take them out as quickly as you can. But it still feels odd that it's, like... to me, when an enemy with Void Curse shows up, it's almost like a punishment. It's like, you didn't go fast enough, and it's like, how fast do you want people to go here? But, I mean, if I'd wanted to expend the resources, I could have taken out at least 1 or 2 of these guys per turn 1, probably not 3, but there's not much reason to do it that way. Anyway, okay. Lennon's going to complain about his back, and then we're going to try to have him get this for the money. So, got it. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, low crit rate without being able to use the killer weapon, but still got there. Okay. And none of the enemies survived, so we don't need to worry about trying to get any XP on Fagato or Pandreo. Which means that what we could do, if we were concerned about it, is reposition Ivy a couple times. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, she'd be able to heal Kagetsu if we needed to. I mean, we could do that anyway. That is to say, even if there was an enemy that had survived, we could do that if we needed to, right? If Kagetsu had gotten hit 3 times, we would need to, but he didn't, so I'm not gonna bother with that. Anyway, but what we are going to do is Kagetsu. Wait a minute, are these guys arranged differently? Ugh, I need to make sure that I don't screw this up. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we want Seagull can get to here. I mean, I think we just target this guy. We go to here. Etia goes here. Yeah, that should all work. Okay. So, but in the other order. I just need to make sure I canter Kagetsu to the right spot. So Etia is gonna get the kill on this guy. We're giving the kill to Etia because Kagetsu's about to cap anyway. And then Seedall is gonna come to here and then canter to here. And Etia is gonna attack from here. We want Kagetsu here, and we can do that. Okay. Oh, you know what? I hadn't even considered the fact that... Yeah, I guess maybe Etia getting that +3 speed matters. I don't think it actually does, because she could just use the Mulligear. Well, this has a better hit rate, so I don't know. The other thing it affects is that, like, Kagetsu gets dance turn 1, and that increases his avoid a little bit, which is relevant, because that way he doesn't die. But, alright. Engage Marin, so we can come up and reposition Alir, and then we do it again. I was actually originally planning to do a big warp here to get to Celica, but then this seemed easier. Once I figured out how to do the Astra Storm. Alright, here's a fun thing. Mulligear just friggin' one-shots this guy with the combination of Alir, of the Goddess Dance bonus and the Alir Instruct, not Instruct, Personal Skill bonus, because it's dragon effective, and these guys count as dragons because they're not corrupted. Incredible. Alright. So now we're gonna dance for Etia. And we can also get healing on Kagetsu here. So, like, really, he's fine. Have him go ahead and take out a health bar. And cap out. So we'll be putting him back to level 1 for next chapter. And then Etia, and bring it on home. Let me just double check. There's absolutely nothing I can do with these units. I mean, I can attack, but okay, so these guys have Void Curse anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. There you have it. We didn't get the last High Priest, so we left some money there, but at least we got the money from the worm, so that's fun. Yeah, so not exactly a difficult chapter. It was tricky to figure out how to get people into position, though. Like, figuring out the rescue in particular, because not only, like, clumping everybody up on turn 1 when they're all spread out to start with, but also... and, like, having them still be able to act, if relevant. Which was only relevant for 2 of them, but still. And then, also, like, if Hortensia rescues people, like, from a position where they can't, like, go because of, like, the water or whatever, then sometimes where people end up is, like, really hard to predict. Like, you know, there will be an open spot. It's like, well, the person, you know, who was going to be on the water like can't go there, so they go to this other spot. So then like another person who could go to the open spot that they left because they're a flyer, like actually gets kicked somewhere else. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't really understand how like rescue positioning works in this game. Like, I mean, it's one thing if you're rescuing one person, it becomes like a lot more straightforward to figure that out. But when you're doing like a multi-person one, I'm assuming what it does is that it evaluates the units one at a time, and like so, and it's trying to like, how do I put this? Like once, like it doesn't, if like it isn't like it doesn't ever like go backwards and say, oh, like this person didn't take this like close spot, so let's go back and put this other person on the close spot or whatever. But I don't know, it's confusing in any case. If anybody knows, like can describe how it works, I'd actually be interested to know. But in any case, thanks for watching. Next time, we're out of Paralogue, so we'll be resuming story missions because we sure are not doing that skirmish. Until then.